Hey guys, how's it going? I hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's enjoying this holiday season. It's going to be great. I know everyone's busy. Hope everyone keeps in mind what the season's all about. So today, I'm not really going to be playing anything. This time around, it's going to be a little more conversation based, and you're going to get to know a little bit more about me, my musical journey, and some of my influences as a guitar player. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So, first part of my musical journey, my parents have always listened to really good music all of my life, ranging from Van Halen, Led Zeppelin, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Creed, Ozzy Osbourne, you name it. They were always big classic rock fans in particular, and that was something that's been a big influence in my life, personally, musically. So, when I was about maybe 5 or 6, my great uncle was kind enough to gift me and my sister with an acoustic guitar, like the little small ones that are that are decent size for a young kid and easy for a young kid to play. And I personally still have it. It's that valuable to me. It really is. And later on in life, when I was about 9 years old, and my sister may have been about 7, we both started taking guitar lessons together. So when you're a young kid, you have a bunch of different interests. You're just really active doing sports and stuff like that. We enjoyed guitar lessons and stuff, but life just kind of got in the way, and guitar got put to the side, and we both eventually quit taking lessons. And it happened. It is what it is. Things happen, and so fast forward 3 years later, when I was 12 years old and I was in 6th grade, I was still playing basketball and doing stuff like that, and playing baseball too, but just basketball at the time. I decided to pick up guitar again, and it seemed interesting to me, and so I picked it up again. I started playing, I practiced, I took lessons again, and casually enjoyed it. But I'll be honest, if I didn't have the influences that I do now, I probably would have eventually quit. But I didn't, and here's why. When I came about 13 or 14 years old, I heard of the one and only and one of my personal favorite bands, Metallica. Yes, that's a poster of them right there that's kind of cut off, but you get the general gist. So, I originally heard the song One from Guitar Hero, and I enjoyed it and I thought it was super cool. But I remember just downloading Enter Sandman to my iPod one time. It was around that time when iPods were big and everything. And I just remember my mind being totally blown hearing that, hearing the riffs, hearing just the whole song and the guitar solo and everything in general. It just totally blew my 14-year-old mind. And it literally made me say, like, okay, I want to do this as a hobby. I want to play music like this. And if I can, I would love to do this as a job. So, if you knew me from around 14, 17, 18, I was absolutely obsessed with Metallica and all the thrash metal bands in general, like Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, and some Slayer. And later on, I got into some of that early 2000s, mid 2000s metalcore, for better or worse. People like The Devil Wears Prada and August Burns Red, like healthy doses of that. And also, I started getting into some deathcore too, like Whitechapel, early Suicide Silence. Not really their new stuff now, but that's a conversation for another time. And yeah, that was high school me if you knew me then. So that was cool, and that happened. And then when I started getting into college, I was about 18, 19, listening to stuff like that, along with like Avenged Sevenfold, again, a lot of gateway bands, and that's perfectly fine. I just decided that I wanted to look more into some of these underground metal bands and stuff, because I knew there would be good stuff there. And I did exactly that. And I found out about so many different people, like Cannibal Corpse, which they're technically probably not underground now. People like Defeated Sanity, Disgorge, and like the record label New Standard Elite, and bands like Revocation, and just so many other people that I can name, but it would just be way too long, and hopefully not boring. Hopefully not boring, but some of you may find boring, but I could just go on forever and ever and ever. And if you ever want to have a personal conversation with me about them, I would love to have a conversation with you about it. So, yeah, there's kind of a quick overview of my musical journeys so far. Because if I went into all of my musical influences and stuff, it'd be like like the video would still probably be going. So now we're going to do part 2, and this is my specific guitar influences and people that have phased me as a guitar player. And I'm going to do these in a few different parts. In the first part, I'm going to do, classic rock guitar players in particular. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Hey guys, so we're on to part 2 now, and guess what? I found that guitar my great uncle got me, so yeah, this is it. This thing does seem tiny, the neck in particular is. I can almost wrap my whole hand around it. So yeah, that's cool. Just wanted to show you that real quick. Put that here. Yeah. So, let's get into guitar influences, and this is some particular ones for classic rock in particular. So, we'll go ahead and start off with one. Maybe obvious. Well, if you're a guitar player or you kind of know classic rock or anything like that in general, it should be. First one being Jimi Hendrix. I mean, let's be real. Even if, like, personally, if you just don't play blues or anything like that all the time, or even classic rock or anything like that all the time, you can't deny the guy's influence. He evolutionized guitar in every way, shape, and form. He was a phenomenal singer, phenomenal songwriter, and could write great music. I mean, there's Voodoo Child, stuff like that, where he just goes insane on guitar. And then there's his laid-back songs, like one of my personal favorite ones of his is The Wind Cries Mary. So many people are influenced by him, whether it be blues greats like Stevie Ray Vaughan, to Buddy Guy, to Joe Bonamassa, and even people in metal like Mick Thompson of Slipknot. I mean, it's Mick Thompson of Slipknot. And many, many, many other people too like him too, not just him. I mean, so there's that there too. Here's another guy, also named Jimmy. It's not Jimi Hendrix, but is Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin. I personally feel like he is known as one of the best guitarists in general, but in that realm, in my humble opinion, maybe it's a little contentious, but I feel like he's a little overlooked at times. That's totally just me. He always had solos and stuff and songs that I've wanted to learn throughout my life that were influential to me. Like songs like Over the Hills and Far Away, and the glaringly obvious Stairway to Heaven, and there's an Immigrant song that just that constant dun 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 dun, like my cousin's 2-year-old daughter could probably sing that and know it. I mean, he has instantly recognizable stuff, and yeah, he even played he had a violin bow, and doing that with his guitar and was playing it live like it was nothing. So, come on, you gotta give the man that. Now, this one is also pretty obvious. Well, should be, maybe, I don't know. This one is Eddie Van Halen. Along with the rest of them, I personally think he was the best guitar player to ever live. Nobody will ever top him. He had swagger as a guitar player in every way, shape, and form. He could write songs. He could write riffs. He obviously could write solos. He could do it all. Like, he even was an innovator, too. He made his own guitars. yeah, he made his own guitars, many different types of guitars. Personally, stuff that I didn't know that he could do for a bit. He made pedals like overdrive pedals, and he even made his own amps that are very diverse. That many different people use, not just specifically Eddie Van Halen. People like Dave Davidson of Revocation even uses his amps, and that speaks volumes. Dave is obviously known for Revocation, but he also plays jazz and stuff too, and he praises it because of how diverse it is. I mean, yeah, if you've picked up a guitar in the past 40 years or so, it's probably in some way, shape, or form because of Eddie Van Halen. So yeah, there's that first part. So we're going to get into part 2 now. And this one's more heavy metal related, and some of the first ones that I got into. And then after that, I'm going to get into some newer guys that I personally enjoy and look at, and I'm really excited to see where their future goes musically. So yeah, let's go on to the next one. Hey everyone, what's up? So this ended up being way longer than I ever intended this to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this up. So the video you just watched will be part 1, and there will be a part 2 the next week. So there's that. I didn't want to bore you guys with like 35 to 40 minutes worth of a video, because that's just a little too much for talking. So yeah, see you guys next week.